Hi, welcome back, wherever you were.
It's New Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah, your grass needs to be trimmed.
eh?
Your
Yeah,
grass needs to be trimmed. Is that marijuana?
yes, that's why we don't trim it. We smoke it. I thought they went back east to vote in New York.
No, I went to graduation.
Terrible guy, eh? Terrible guy.
It's crazy. I don't know what these people are thinking. It's nuts. Nuts. There's so many anti-Semites, so many socialists. I don't get it.
But do you see the interview they gave him, or he gave?
No.
They asked him if Mr. Netanyahu would come to New York to visit. Would you welcome him? No, and I would have him arrested.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
We are on Vav Amid Bays. Vav Amid Aleph, Avodah Zara.
Who's your helper there?
Say again?
Who's your helper?
Gabe Kobe.
Hey, Kobe.
Yeah.
Hi.
Huh.
Where are we at? I'm sorry, where were we?
Avodah Zara, Vav Amid Aleph. So Noah, Elmando Matrefa Yoledes, because it says Lechayos Zera, that he brought animals onto the Teva who could have children. And that the Mandomar who holds that a trefa cannot be molid, that's why that pasuk was used. But Laman Domer trefa yoledes, just because you're a trefa doesn't mean you can't be molid. The definition of a trefa is you can't survive 12 months. But you could, some of those people, there's a Mandomer that says you could be molid, Michael and Meimar. What do you need? Where do they learn it from? Amr Kra Itach. Because it says, Tavila Tevala Chayot Itach. Bring the animals into the Teva to live with you. B'domin lacha, which, and you, Noach, were not in trefa, so we learn it from there. Frank the Gemara, v'dilma Noach gufei trefa. Maybe Noach was a trefa. Or it says no. Tamim ksiv. It says he was unblemished. V'dilma tamim b'drachav. Maybe tamim refers to his ways, not to his physical body. So the Gemara says tzadik ksiv bei. That refers to the fact that he was a tzadik. Tamim refers that he was physically unblemished. So the Gemara still doesn't accept it. Maybe Dilma Tomim Bedrachav Tzadik B'Maisav. He was a Tomim in his ways and a Tzadik in his actions. So the Gemara says, Lo Sagidarich the Noach Gufei Trefa. It doesn't make sense to say that Noach was a Trefa. The Sagidarich Noach Trefa, Rachmana Kavosech Ayil Shleimim Lo Ta'ayil. So if he's a Trefa, HaKadosh Baruch is saying, Vav Amad Aleph, Avodah Zara, Vav Amad Aleph, near the doesn't make any sense. If Noach was a treifa, the Torah is going to say, bring everybody in like you, which is a treifa, but if they're shleimin, don't bring it. That doesn't make any sense. Fine. Fine. So they learn out that there was no treifa from itach. Then what do we learn from the chayos zera lamali? So, if I'd have only had me itach, maybe you only bring the animals for company, and vafilu zakim, vafilu source. Even an older animal or an animal that is castrate, but not as long as he's not a treifa, where he can survive 12 months. Maybe he could bring him in because of Rachmana Zera. You need both criteria. So he boiluhu. The Mishnah said that you cannot do business with a non-Jew before their holiday for 3 days. Is it hein ve'dayan? Is it 2 days plus the holiday? Odil mahain below 3 days and then the holiday. Torshma. Rabbi Shmuel Omer shloisha lifneim u'shloisha lachmeim aser. 3 days before the holiday, 3 days after the holiday. Isagedaytech hein ve'dayan, that it was the holiday and 2 days, and then Rabbi Shmuel Yom Yedem Chashavlu Mikor v'Chashavlu B'Sof. So what? That he's counting it in twice in the middle. So must be Rabbi Shmuel holds it's 3 days before, 3 days after. And I did the Tana Shlosh Lefneim Tananami Shlosh Lachmeim. The same 3 before that we learned 3 after. Toshma. Amrav Tachliva Bardimi Amar Shmuel Noitzrim, Christians. The Divi Rabbi Shmuel Oilam Aser. You never can do best with them because their holiday is Sunday, 3 days before and 3 days after. The whole week is taken up and it's prohibited. That it's not, it's only 2 days plus the holiday, then you would have had days to do business with them to Shari. So I'll leave it to Rabbi Shmuel Lokam Aboili. According to Rabbi Shmuel, we know for sure he meant the day and the 3 days before it. He come Aboili, I'll leave it to Rabbona. Ma. Am Ravina Toshma. Elu hein edein shel goyim. These are the holidays of the non-Jews. Kalanda, which is, the Gemara will explain, Satrunya ukartesim. Amrav Chanim bar Rava. Kalanda is Shmona Yomim Achar Tkufa. The Tkufa of winter, the winter solstice is December 21. So 8 days after that day was the holiday calendar. This was a pagan holiday before the Christians took it as a holiday. Satrunya, Shmona Yomim Lifnei Tkufa. 8 days before the 21st. V'simonech achor v'kodem tzartani. That the one that comes later is the holiday before the holiday. Not 3 days before and 3 days after, but it's all included. Then it would be Asarahav. It would be 8 days before, and then the 2 days. So Tana Kula Kalenda Chad Yom HaVachashivle. It's considered a 1-day holiday. Aravashi Toshma Lifnei Adem Shel Goyim Shosha Yomim. Yitzhak Kedaitach Hein Veidein Lifnei Adem Shel Goyim Shosha Yomim. To say their holidays are 3 days. To say that you can do business with them after the holiday. Lisni Adam shel goyim shos yom lifneim. El shmami nohein below deim. When we say you can't do business with them, it means 3 days separate from the holiday. Shmami no, that's how we pass. Now the Rambam wrote about the Christians, Noitzrim, and the censors removed it. Rambam holds that Christianity is Avodah Zara. The Yom Rishon or Yom Edom, and Sunday is their holiday. You can't do business with them Thursday and Friday. And you can't do business with them Sunday. And then later poskim said that they're not Avodah Zara because and that way they permitted doing business with them. Iboilahu. Why can't we do business with them? Is it Mishum Arvacha? He's happy, he's made business, and he comes to give thanks to the Avodah Zara. We're giving him money so he can buy an animal for Avodah Zara. Now, what do we care what the reason is? Well, the Isle Day, he has an animal. If he's happy because he's got more money and he's going to offer korbanos on kamarvachle, so he's happy. But he has an animal, so you're not doing a lifnei iver. Frank the Gemara is slay lo ovar. What do you mean? Just because he has an animal, you're not over? You should lifnei iver lo sita mechshol atanya amrav nasam. Minayin shlo yoshit adam koshel yain lenazir. You cannot hand a cup of wine to a nazir. The aver menachai, or a limb cut off of a live animal, livnei noach. Tamad lav livnei even lo sitei michshol. In both of those cases, if we don't give it, he can get it from other places. And yet we say, who cares if he has an animal? They were on two sides of a river. And he cannot get wine on his own. The fact that you give it to him now, that's why you're lifnei dekunami diktani lo yoshit lo yiktein lo yite. Don't hand it to him. Shmami no, that you're on one side of the river handing him to the other side of the river. And Echanami, if he had wine on his side of the river, and you gave him wine, you would not be over lifnei iver. We've learned this many times in our halacha shir. Iboilu. Let's say you were over the prohibition of doing business with them. The nasa v'nasan, you did business. My, can you use the money? Rav Yechlam and nasa v'nasan also. You cannot benefit from the profit. Rish Labish Amar nasa v'nasan mutter. You violated the law, but it's not osur b'no. Ezer Rav Yechlam Rish Lakish. Edian shall goyim nasa v'nasan. If you did business on their holiday, asurin, my love, doesn't it also mean lifnei ediyah? Gemara says lo, beidayim davka. We're talking about on the holiday itself, but not before. Ikedi Amri, other people say that this dialogue went differently. Eisvei Rish Lakish Rav Yechlam. Edian shel goyim nosav v'nosan asur. It says on their holiday, if you do business, you can't use the money. Meaning a day I'm in, but lifnei a day I'm low, but before the holiday, yeah. How does Rabbi Yochanan respond? Tana, I divide a day and korele. Both are called a day, even the days before. However, Tanya Kavos said Reish Lakish. Kisha Amru, Asr Lasis Simoim, Asr Labedover Miskaye. Doing business with something that lasts. Aval Bedover Shem Miskayim lo. If you're going to lose the item, if without selling, it's no prohibition. Even things that are preserved, and you violated nosav and nosav mutter. We paskin like Reish Lakish. The Rambam paskins like Reish Lakish. And when we say there's a prohibition to do business with koyim, 3 days, it's something that can last. But something that doesn't last, you can sell it to him even up until the day of the holiday. Like vegetables, which are going to go bad. Tani Razvid b'drei Voshia. Dover shein miskai markin lehem. Something that can't be preserved, you can sell them. Avalein loichim, and you can't buy from them. Ahu minod d'shadle dinner kisrana. A certain heretic sent a Caesarean dinner of Eudocia on the day of the coin. Rish Lakish was sitting in front of Rabbi Yehuda Nisriya, Omar. So Rabbi Yehuda said, Hechi of it. If I take it, he's going to be thankful. He's going to go to his Avodah Zara. Lo ashkale havileeva. He's going to hate us. It could lead to danger for us. Rish Lakish. Throw the coin into a pit in front of him. That's going to anger him even more. No. It means don't throw it. Just sort of drop it as if you fell, as if you lost it. Then the Mishnah said, La Shilon of the Lishol man. You can't borrow things from them, you can't lend things to them 3 days before. Bish Malashim to loan things to them, I understand. The Kamarvatlu, he's happy, he has more things. Avalishol, borrowing from them, we're decreasing his assets, and therefore we should be allowed to do it. Amr Abaya, Gzeira Lishol man, Atul Hashilam. We make a Gzeira not to borrow from them, even though technically we could, because we don't want to loan things to them. Rava Omar, no. Kula mishim de'azlu moedahu. Even when you accept an item from him that he's going to loan to you, he feels good that you're using him. And it's another reason for him to be happy for his Avodah Zara. The Mishnah said, Lal voisun v'lil voice mehem. You can lend them money and you can borrow money. Bishlam allow voice to lend them money. I understand he has more money. Mishum dekamar v'chle. He's happy. El lilvos, but to borrow from them, you're taking money away from them. Why should be amai? Why should be usher? Amar abai. Gzeir lilvos man atul voice. We make gzeir not to borrow from them because we don't want to lend to them. But Rava Amar Kulam Mishum de'azul moedu. He's happy that you're borrowing money from him because it looks like you need him. Then it says Bishma lepoiron, to pay him back. I understand why we don't do it. Mishum dekamar, he has more money. El lifroma, he pays you back. Is mu'utim b'maidlu, you're decreasing his assets. Omar abai gzer lifroma, you can't be paid back from them because of gzera. Atul lepor, you'll come to pay them back. Rav Amar Kul Mishum Dazlo Moedu, again, he's happy that he's gotten rid of the debt. Utsrichi, I need on all these cases. Diton losses, philosophies, we're talking about doing business. Mishum Dekamar V'Aklu Vazlo Moedu. He's now made a good deal. He's going to be moeded to his Avodah Zara. Avalishlam, but to borrow, the Mu'utkam Moedlu. We're taking one of his things away, shop your dummy, maybe we should allow it. Vitan Alishal man. If you would have taught me to borrow from them, that's a big thing that a Jew needs him. Ozil Moed is going to go and thank his idol. Avalil voice to take money from them by borrowing from them. He's in pain that he has to give you money. Omer Tuv Lo Hadri Zuzi. Maybe the Jew won't pay me back. The Tana Lil voice man, and if the Mishnah would have mentioned borrowing, Mishum Dekamer Bal Korcha Mifrana. Because the goy can definitely collect from him, he's a strong arm. Vashlami is all Zumaid, and then of course he's gonna thank his Avodah Zara. Avali Paraman, but he owes you money, and you're gonna collect from him. The Sula Adri Zuzi, he's not going to get that money back. Emetzari is moided. Maybe it's all going to be painful for him. He's not going to be moided as Avodah Zara. So maybe we can get paid back our debts from the goy. Tzricha, we have to be told no. Then Rav Yehuda Omer Nifroin Mehen. Rav Yehuda argued and says you can get a loan paid back from them. And then the Chachamim said no, because he got rid of the debt. Doesn't Rav Yehuda hold of this concept that even though it's painful from now, but he's going to be happy later? I'll show you that he holds of that. Vatanya, Rav Yehuda Omer. Isha loisosud b'moy. She should not put on makeup, or not makeup. This is like a depilatory to remove her hair. She shouldn't do it cholamoy. They should nivelula. It doesn't look good when it's on her. But moed Rav Yehuda b'sid sheichol lekaflo, this type of line that she could take it off. B'moyed shetoflu, b'moyed she can remove it. Shavu pisha mitzir ashav, even though it's painful now, smechi lacher became when she looks good. So you see, Rav Yehuda holds of this shita. Amar Nachman by Yitzchak. Hana leichach moed. Don't bring in cholam moed. Dekulu meitzer ashav. It's a problem with malacha now. And misimcha lachar, even though later on there's pleasure. But that's by cholam moed. But it's not the case by hilchos avodah zara. Ravina Omar goylin piron loylam meitzer. The fact that he has to pay a debt and pay you money, he's not happy. And Masnisin, that you can't collect from him in any case, Shalom Rav Yeshua ben Korcha. For the time of Yeshua ben Korcha Oimer, Malve Bishtar in Ephraim. For the 3 days before the Yontif, if the loan is documented with a star, don't get paid back from the Goy. But Malval Pen Ephraim. Because if it's on a star, you can always collect. It's well documented. But if it's an or loan, you can collect. And they should come out some of the other, because if he's willing to pay you now, it's like a fund in his gal. It's like you found a lost object on the street. So take it. Yosef Rav Yosef Achared Rav Avo. Rav Yosef was sitting in the base medrash. The Yosef Rav Avo Kamed Rav Huna. The Yosef Ka'ama. Hilchasek Rishu ben Korcha. That an or loan you can always collect, even 3 days before the Yontif. But he also said Hilchasek Rav Yehuda. Hilchasek Rav Yeshua Hadamaran. That if it's a Malval Peh, you can collect. But the Halachas Rav Yehuda the Tanya. Hanoisen Semer Letzava. You give wool to a dyer, Litzvolo Edom, and you wanted it to be red, and he dyed it black. Or Shochar Vitzvo Edom. You want it to be black, and you dyed it red. Okay, we now finished Daf Vav. Now I'm going to move to Daf Zayin, which is today's Daf. So let me hang up, and I will call back right away.
Okay.